Howdy, partners. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about kava. What's the deal with kava? Why is it so popular? Why is it all over my Instagram feed? What does it do? Where does it come from? We've attempted to answer some of those questions in previous videos, but right now the hype is hot and the train is taking off. So we're going to talk a little bit about it today. Kava is a root of a pepper plant, essentially, that comes from the South Pacific Islands. So I want you to imagine beautiful places like Fiji, Vanuatu, parts of Hawaii. It's been around for thousands of years. It's not a research chemical. It's nothing new. It does have a rich history in the United States. It was originally brought over to the US by the Polynesian cultures, people coming from those islands. And the reason why it's becoming more popular is because a lot of people don't really want to drink alcohol. Kava works on the same system in the brain called the GABA receptor system as alcohol, but it does that without any calories, with no hangover, and many people claim that it's actually not addictive. I would argue anything that makes you feel good can be addictive, so this again is not going to be medical advice for you guys, but I'm just going to show you a little bit about what kava is all about. Right here in this bag we have a kilo of a strain called Matacaro. Comes from Fiji. This is the most earthy tasting kava that we have. It is probably the strongest strain that we carry. This is a root of a pepper plant that's been ground into a nice powder. I want to show you guys the texture of this here. So you can see that there's almost what appears to be, some larger chunks. It kind of looks like the pulp of a wood because that's a lot like what the root system looks like when it's pulled out. Kava takes anywhere from 2 to 5 years to be grown before it's harvested. So this is not a quick crop at all. And it's specifically grown in those islands because there's a lot of volcanic soil. And volcanic soil is what's needed for good kava growth. It has a lot of micronutrients within the soil that helps it grow, which is why you don't see kava grown in places like Connecticut or Florida. The soil is very different. So it needs a tropical climate, volcanic soil. And in the future, what we're hoping is that people bring kava to Central South America, where there's also a lot of volcanic soil, so it can be grown much closer to our home, which is the United States. This right here, this root powder, is brewed in a tea. It's not brewed with hot water. Hot water actually will kind of ruin the whole process, but it's brewed with lukewarm water. You drink it in a coconut shell traditionally. Before you drink it, you raise your shell and you say bula. What is interesting about kava is that it does take you multiple times to feel the effects. So that is why oftentimes we will combine kava with kratom, because kratom is a much more front-facing product. In this particular product, there's 45 milligrams of nitrogenine, which comes from kratom, and 300 milligrams of kava lactones, which comes from kava. Kava lactones are an alkaloid. They come from kava only, and they actually work on the same system of receptors that cannabis does. Endocannabinoid system is what it's called. So a lot of cannabis users, they do enjoy kava. And for myself in particular, I can't really smoke cannabis products. It gives me anxiety. I enjoy kava, which can reduce anxiety, can make me more talkative, and it can give me a sense of relaxation. Kava, when you try it, I'm not going to lie, in the original form here, once brewed into a tea, does not taste phenomenal. It's going to taste really earthy. It'll numb your tongue, and it has a little bit of a peppery taste. So if you're a person that doesn't really like earthy tones, kava is going to be a little difficult to consume, which is why you might prefer something like this, which has natural flavors in it and other ingredients that are going to help mask that peppery flavor. So I love kava. I've been using it for 13 years. A couple of quick warnings. I don't think you should consume alcohol with kava because it's going to be processed by the liver, just like any other substance is pretty much processed. You should not consume kava with other substances. You shouldn't consume kratom with other substances. You shouldn't do that because it creates a synergistic effect. And especially for those of you who use pharmaceuticals, you should talk to your doctor before consuming kava or kratom. While I love it, I don't want to sit here and say it's without risk. It does have risks, okay? Kava is a diuretic, which means it makes you go pee. When you consume a lot of kava, it's important to stay hydrated. Maybe you'll want some electrolytes, but again, it's not uncommon for me to be found at a local watering hole, right? Watering hole, drinking some kava with my boys. I can drink a heavy amount of kava and wake up the next day feeling fine. The only thing is I might have gone pee a couple times in the middle of the night, so You just got to make sure to rehydrate. I think it's amazing, but more than just how the plant makes me feel, it's where I use it. I've been using kava at kava bars for a long time, and it's given me a sense of community, and I think that's the most important thing it brings. Sitting at home by myself drinking kava is just not on the menu. As always, guys, we appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, we love answering them. Drop a comment below, subscribe, and hit us up.